Entire civilizations, their cities, cultures, and people, can disappear within a single generation. History is full of powerful empires that built towering monuments, engineered irrigation systems, and supported millions across vast territories. Yet, when we look at these desolate ruins today, that former power feels like a ghost. Historians find no evidence of a conquering army or a military defeat at many of these sites. There are no signs of mass sieges, shattered defensive walls, or weapons abandoned in the streets. The majestic structures remain intact, yet the society that built them simply walked away, leaving behind more questions than answers. Without a violent invasion to take the blame, we have to look closer at the mechanics of how a thriving society actually dies. Modern researchers are now acting as detectives, sifting through soil and sediment to find the physical record of the past. The evidence points to environmental stressors, shifting weather patterns, natural disasters, and the depletion of critical resources. In many cases, the Earth itself shows the cause. Layers of sediment reveal droughts that lasted for decades, leaving nothing but fractured, barren ground where crops once grew. Other regions faced sudden, violent force. Surging floods can snap vital infrastructure and destroy the agricultural base a city needs to survive. While these events are destructive, a single storm rarely ends an empire. There is a missing step between environmental stress and total collapse. These forces act as chronic stressors, weakening the foundations of a society over several decades until the system can no longer sustain itself. Scientists call this systemic cascading failure. It begins with a localized failure. As agricultural input drops, it creates an economic deficit that the state cannot easily repair. This economic starvation eventually fractures the social order, leading to internal unrest and the breakdown of trade networks. This process of decay is often invisible to the people living through it until the final stages. Civilizations reach a tipping point where they can no longer generate the resources required to maintain their own complexity, making collapse inevitable, even if the cities still look functional. Before we look at what this means for our world, subscribe to Untold Indian Stories and hit the like button to see more historical investigations. The archaeological record creates an illusion. We see the sudden ruins, but we miss the long period of cracking that happened before the shatter. It is easy to assume that our modern world is immune to the forces that dismantled the ancients. However, high levels of interconnectedness can increase fragility. In this model, the failure of a single central pillar causes the entire web to unravel. Ancient societies likely felt as permanent at their peak as we do today. The ruins of the past serve as a physical warning about ignoring systemic stress and environmental shifts. Our technological systems still rely on a stable environmental baseline. If that foundation fails, the complexity we've built becomes a liability rather than a shield. The same unseen forces that eroded history's greatest empires are still at work in the present. If the same process of invisible decay dismantled the past, we have to ask, could it happen to us?